to the Wisconsin Vegetable Garden Radio Show with your hosts, Joey and Hallie Baird.
It is the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show on 860 AM WNOV and W293CX 106.5, the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.com, your destination for over 900 garden videos and a whole lot more. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. Let's talk about all the information we can provide you for growing okra in your garden. Again, Holly's not a fan, but she doesn't discriminate those who do like okra. Okra is very good in like gumbo. If you've ever had really good gumbo, you know it kind of absorbs the flavors of the other ingredients. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Now, In My Gardener still has 3 different varieties available, and you can use that June 40 coupon for till the end of the month. They have red burgundy, crimson spineless, as well as long pod Perkin okra. The burgundy is obviously a reddish maroon color, and the other 2 are green. Now, when it comes to okra growing, they grow about 4 to 5 feet tall, and they produce dozens of okra pods per plant. The thing with the okra pods, you basically have to harvest these on a daily basis, because if you let them go beyond 3, 4, 5 inches, they're going to get very woody, and they're going to produce seeds, and they're not going to be an edible pod. The things with the okra is a variety that's bred for having no thorns. Some I believe some native or natural okra has thorns. It's more popular in the southern states because of just the nature of the culture.
Right, we grew it once,
and we're growing it again this year too.
I don't know why.
It's very easy to grow, and.
So one thing to mention is you can buy starts. I'm not sure if they have starts.
Blue Mills has some starts.
Okay.
I don't know if they still have them available right now.
And you want to keep in mind that it's best, if you start them, you want to grow them in peat pots.
If you start them at all indoors.
Right.
I would highly, highly recommend just starting them from seed in the garden. Because they do have this long taproot, and do not grow them in containers. Now, you'll see people say, oh, well, I grew them in a container, a big container on the porch and all this stuff. It's much easier. I want to make your life as simple as possible and allow you to get okra. Just plant them in the ground. It's so much simpler. They do have this long taproot, so if you do start them in peat pots or you buy them as a start, you want to be very gentle in getting them out of that peat pot or extracting them if there's multiple plants, planting them in the ground. When you do start your seeds and plant them in the ground, what you can do to accelerate the germination is soak them in whole milk, or any type of milk, for about 12, 24 hours. What that will do is the lactic acid in the milk will eat away of some of that seed coating on the seed, because it has extremely thick seed coating, and it will help speed up allowing moisture to get inside of that seed and germinate quicker.
Right.
So that's a handy tip to accelerate your germination on your okra there.
So since we talked about taproots, we want to talk about growing in a container.
Right.
Okra is not advised to grow in a container because of that taproot, right?
Exactly. If you snap that taproot off, the plant will die. So we don't want to do that. You do want to plant your plants and when the soil is 65 to 70 degrees, which we're okay. We're good to go on that now. And that's why a lot of people here, when they do grow okra in Wisconsin, they wait until early summer, and these plants will grow for 12 to 14 weeks. So it'll be fine. You're not going to hurt the longevity of it. These plants have a certain lifespan. So if you plant them middle of June, early July, you're going to be fine having okra into late summer, early fall. And you want to plant them about 1 to 2 foot apart. These things will get towering, 4 to 5 foot tall, and expand out like a canopy on a tree. So you don't want them to be so tight to where, 1, they compete with each other, and 2, they hurt the growth by running into the adjacent plant when it comes to growing it. You want to add a good fertilizer, an all-balanced fertilizer if you want. I wouldn't go any more than a 10-10-10, because if you go more than that, you're going to put fertilizer in the ground that the plants are not going to be able to take up. And an aged manure, rich compost is really good. Half a pound per 25 square feet. Soil amending or composting is a good guideline. But they really like good and rich soil. And when the seedlings, you can overplant, and that's what we did on ours. We have a 3 foot a 3 foot long by 1 foot wide area where we planted our okra. We planted it instead of one seed every foot. We planted one seed every 6 inches to guarantee we would have something. So we can go in and just snip those plants out in which we don't want to space them properly. So it's for 99 cents you get I think you get 50 or 100 seeds. It's very, very affordable to overseed to guarantee, because it's a lot easier to snip out those plants that you don't want to space the ones that you have versus, okay, nothing came up, now I got to wait another 2 to 3 weeks for them to germinate, all this stuff. Overplant, well worth the investment. And again, you want to keep these things watered. They do love and thrive in hot weather. We have moderately decent hot weather, so you want to.
And I think that's why some people feel they fail here, because maybe you tried growing okra during essentially the wrong summer.
Right.
Maybe it was a cooler summer and that was not successful.
Put them in the hottest part of your garden. If you got a hot spot in your yard, that's where you want to grow okra. And another plant that really does well in those type of situations, eggplant. Put those things in that very hot area. You got to keep the moisture to them, but they will do very well. And what happens? These okras have a very beautiful flower, white or yellow flower that appears. They're related to the hibiscus plant. And that flower will appear and disappear, close up and fall off within 24 hours, and that's where that pod will emerge. And those pods, again, 2, 3, 4 inches, you want to harvest those on a daily basis, otherwise they will get very woody. You can eat these right away. You can also can them. There are gardeners that do very successful canning of okra, and you can have it all summer long. And some of these people who I've watched who's canned this okra has canned very large pods beyond what is recommended to be harvested. And because of the canning and the preserving and the moisture, the pods have become very tender in the jar.
But
let's if you don't know if you like okra.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the farmer's market. Let's go to a Woodman's or Beans and Barley. Buy some okra. It's not going to have the intense homegrown flavor, but you're going to know if you like it or not, because I don't want you to spend time and location and money on seeds and fertilizer to grow a beautiful plant that you later find out, I don't like this.
Correct.
Because then you're going to be upset with yourself because you didn't take the necessary steps to find
that goes with any plant.
Well,
but
true.
Yes, yeah.
But okra is more of maybe not the most common. It's not a tomato.
So can we plant it now?
We can go ahead and plant it now.
We just planted some last week.
Yeah. Put it in the ground, plant it, keep it weed free. Again, be very gentle with the plants, and they will get very stalky and produce a lot of dozens of pods per plant when it comes to harvesting. And they'll harvest about 12 weeks or
about 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing these, and you'll be able to harvest them for another month, 2 months, and you'll have a lot of okra. And again, some pests you'll have to worry about is aphids, cornworms, stink bugs, and that's pretty much it. But you just keep on top of it. Normal procedure. Be aware of what's going on in the garden. You won't have a whole lot of issue, and you can harvest it all summer long. If you're in the Milwaukee or surrounding areas, just tune your radio to 860 AM or FM 106.5. You can also find links on our Facebook pages, The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener and Home Canning. Our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, click on the radio tab at the top of the page, then click on the Listen Live button, and you'll have immediately access to our live program. Mobile devices work very well also. Go to your app store and download for free the TuneIn app or the Simple Radio app. Then search WNOV 860, save it to your favorites, and you can have access to our radio show live wherever you're at in the world. Our radio program will also have podcast replay under the radio tab several days following the live broadcast. You can find all of these links in the show notes below. Our show airs 9 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday, March through the end of October. And we want to thank our sponsors, because without them, this would not be anywhere possible. You can find all of their links under the radio tab on our website at thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.